All right. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Social 19, the spring 2021 edition, the semester when a lot of stuff is happening, not only in at Penn State and not only in the US, but actually all over the world. It's big. It's a really energetic time to be alive, to be honest. And so, especially if you're young and yeah, just excited, like ready to go. Awesome. So we're going to have a really intense semester. It's going to be a good semester. We are obviously completely virtual, and I am not normally where I'm going to be. I am right now in the I guess bedroom of my in-laws' house in New Jersey because my wife's mother died 2 days ago, and we just she was buried this morning. Really intense. So I'm really in this space of life and death and change and transformation, not COVID related. And yeah, so it's really intense. It's really, really sobering. In any case, I'm Sam, by the way. So I'm the instructor, Sam Richards. You can call me Sam. Refer to me as Sam, whatever. I mean, people do. That's been kind of the way it is. Yeah, it's good. But if you feel so inclined, you can call me Dr. Richards or Professor Richards or whatever you want to call me. It doesn't really matter. Maybe after the first quiz, you'll have all sorts of names. Actually, probably not, because the quizzes are very straightforward. So in any case, normally I'd be in front of a green screen, lots of things happening, but we're going to keep it really dynamic and make things happen. We got an awesome production team who is involved in Social 19. Both behind the scenes and who really make everything happen. And I'm just the person that really is smart enough to bring on some really talented, smart, creative people. And that's the extent of how smart in many ways I really need to be. So, but hey, 1991, that is when I started teaching this class at Penn State. I came in 1990, and that's what I look like, by the way. That photo that you see was taken right around 1991. So that's what Social 19 used to be, but now look at me. I've still got a little bit of hair left, and though it's entirely gray, almost, and things are a little bit different. But I'd like to think that I have some more wisdom behind me than I did back in my hippie days. Although I'm still a hippie at heart, and no, I'm still a hippie in every way, except the hair. And but anyway, 1991 is a long time, and the class was very different back then. It was 150 students, and I really started teaching this course. My background is Latin America and Africa in international political development and economy, and so when they asked me to teach a course on race relations, it kind of threw me a little bit because it wasn't my specific area, but I've really been focused on cross-cultural issues, and I had been at that time a great deal. And so this became a really fascinating journey to dive into the deep end of race and cultural relations in the United States. So I've been privileged to continue to teach it. I guess in many ways I've chosen to continue to teach it. And I would say privileged. And the class has grown, lots of things have happened. And yeah, so it's awesome. And here we are, right? So let's get started on some stuff, right? I'll come back to me a little in a hot second. Here's what you need to know. We're virtual, and y'all are getting used to virtual classes now. It wasn't the case pre-COVID, but it means that the syllabus is really important, and this syllabus is laid out very clearly. You need to know what's on it. You need to know when things are due, and you really want to follow it. And what I see is that it's hard to be 100% virtual, because what it does is, because it means that you have to create your own structure, and not everyone is used to creating their own structure. And so if you fail at it, or if you're struggling at it or struggling with that, understand that it's not easy. And so a couple tips are to just get your syllabi out and read through them, and just start marking down on a calendar the dates when things are required. And some of you naturally do that because you're type A personalities, or you're Virgos. I'm a Virgo, so it's the kind of thing that I do. But not everybody does that. And so, but in this particular case, it's the course is not that complicated, but you have to keep up, and you have to keep doing things. And mind you, with that in mind, let me say the following. The course is largely based around contract grading. So you can decide what grade you want to get in the class, and then you go to the end of the syllabus and you see how many points you need, and then you just do the work to ensure that you get that many points, and you'll be rocking and rolling. And so a lot of people get A's in this class. I mean, it's really more than half the class end up with A's, and they do because of the contract grading component to it. So we do have quizzes, but once again, the quizzes. So I will say this: like, if you do the readings and watch the videos for the quizzes, then you are almost guaranteed to, if you have just a moderate comprehension level, and then you're almost guaranteed to get a really good grade. So like the median score on the quizzes is, there are 20 questions. It's like 17.5 out of 20 or something. But the people that don't do well are the people that don't read the readings. It's not like other quizzes. It's not like other classes. I really designed this so you have to jump through the hoops. But if you jump through the hoops, you can get a really good grade. And I don't mind giving A's out to people who jump through the hoops. So, and there aren't that many hoops, keep in mind, right? So, but there are enough. Okay, so I just want to say that. So read the syllabus. That's almost the last thing I'm going to talk about grades. I don't like talking about grades. It's so annoying. Grades are like death. Grades don't represent learning. Well, here, let me go.
Yo, just real quick, if you have any questions about the syllabus, about grading, about anything, the easiest thing for you to do during class is to type in the command ! syllabus or grade or whatever, and it will auto link you to the syllabus page, and then it'll send you to Canvas. Read the syllabus. I'm going to tell you once. Sam's going to tell you 0 more times, but you got to read the syllabus. You got a question, it's answered.
Hang on.
Another question, it's going to be answered.
Hang on, man. I'm actually going to disagree with Jeff. You don't have to read the syllabus because C's earn degrees. So you only need a C in the class. So whatever, don't read the syllabus. You need a C. You need a D, actually, for most of you, unless you're a major, and very few of you are. You only need a D to pass the class. So it's all good. And you're going to die. You know what I mean? We're all going to die. And so, like, whatever, don't read the syllabus. Get an F or don't get an F. Whatever, it's all good. But if you want a good grade, read it. Okay. Whatever a good grade is. A C is a good grade, by the way. All right. Jeff, so I have this photo that I like to show in the beginning of the semester because I think it says something about me. And that's a photo of me with my father. And I think I was about I don't know, how old am I in that photo? It's impossible for me to ascertain, but it looks like I'm maybe 2.5 or something. And what's interesting is that, so my parents were older. My mom was 45 when I was born, and my dad was 55 or 56. And they look at, I'm wearing pink, right? I'm playing with a doll. It was called a Raggedy Ann doll, and that photo represents, and I think there's like a little giraffe on it or something. It represents my entire life as being a life of iconoclasm. And just like really outside the box. Like I can't be put in a box anywhere. I refuse to be. It's in my DNA. It's in my earliest years. I was being socialized to not be inside of a box. You don't have to think like other people. You don't have to be like other people. You can wear pink. You can carry dowels. You can do whatever. It's all good. Doesn't matter. And in many ways, that's how I think. That's how I am. So I was really lucky. So first off, my father died when I was 9. So I was largely, after he died, my mom was working, 2 and 3 jobs all the time. And I largely, to a great degree, raised myself. And I would come home from school and make my own lunch and make my own breakfast and all sorts of stuff, right? Um, by the age of 12, I was buying my own school clothes and all, right? Because we didn't have a lot of money. But I what it meant was I didn't have anybody really looking over me, telling me how I needed to be and how I needed to think. Now, my father would have been like that because he had very much had this kind of engineer type mind. Thought that math was really important, all sorts of things. So he would have much more been like that. But he died. He was out of the picture. So I was really on my own. And I actually have to say I discovered marijuana when I was 12, and that was like a big, huge shift, right? Because when I got high for the first time, I realized that there was another world out there that I didn't really understand in this world in which I was living. But I was smart enough to know that that wasn't a really cool path for me to go down. Because I was watching, because it was really big, I was watching a lot of my friends and a lot of people who were really taking that kind of a path. And it's fine. It was fine for them, but I could see that that wasn't really going to do it for me. But the key was here, I didn't take school seriously. Like, and it really, I didn't have anyone telling me I had to get good grades. And what I had was, I had developed kind of a love of reading and a love of thinking, but I didn't care about grades. And no one looked at my report card and said, like, well, you have to get this grade or that grade or whatever. It didn't matter to anybody because I had nobody really looking over my shoulder. So therefore, I got to go to school and get the best out of school, meaning that I could arrive late, I could leave early, I could do whatever I wanted to. I'd skip school, I'd go down to the library, I would read books, I'd go out to the railroad tracks and I'd, do that or whatever later on, and I'd come back in and I'd do all sorts of stuff, right? But I didn't care about grades. And what I cared about, I started to learn to care about thinking. And I started to ask questions. And this was, and again, I don't want to harp on that because I don't think, I started to learn to ask questions, right? Like, and I was asking really big questions. I didn't know it at the time, but they were questions that other people were asking me. I wasn't memorizing stuff. People, I never once, from sixth grade all the way through high school, I don't believe I ever once took a book home from school except a couple novels here and there. Never once, because it didn't matter. But I would go home from school and I would think. I was always thinking, right? So in any case, so here's what happened. So I made it through high school. I took the ACTs and I scored I actually, when I took it, I didn't even know what it was. Like, I only took the ACT because I found out I could get a day off school if I went and applied to college, and someone said, well, you have to take this test. So I went and took the test. I was hungover when I took the test, I should say. Anyway, but I took it and I scored in the 51st percentile. So I scored in the 51st percentile, and that meant that I was above average. 51% is above average, right? So that felt good. Like, all I ever wanted to be was above average. And so that was cool. So I went to the University of Toledo, found out that, I got in because they let everybody in. I flunked out. The first semester I did okay, but then I started flunking out. Like, I would just stop going to class, right? Like, I would take these classes and I would stop going because I just didn't know what I wanted to do. I'm a musician, so I was a musician. I was playing music in the time. I was playing in a band, and we were playing in clubs and doing all sorts of stuff. I was working all the time. It just, school just, I didn't have it. It just wasn't calling me, right? Other things were calling me. Thinking was calling me. Music was calling me. All sorts of things, but not school. And the whole thing in college, like, I'd have to really step up, But so then I transferred to a community college, a 2-year college. So I was at a 4-year college. I transferred. I was an accounting major, of all things, guy, which I really like accounting. I like numbers. I like thinking about numbers and so on. But I transferred to a 2-year college thinking, like, well, I'm clearly never going to graduate from a 4-year college, but maybe I'll just get a 2-year degree. And I had a painting company at the time. I was a house painter, and I was really had started my own company, and I had people working for me and all sorts of stuff. And so I'm like, okay, I'll do this. This will be good. This will be a good life. I can play some music. I can paint houses, and I can read and think on the side. And But then what happened was I stopped going to classes there, and I had one class left. And I was on my way to that class. I dropped all my classes, right? And this is it, man. I was on my way to completely dropping out. I was on my way to that class, and I went in the library, and I skipped class. But I went to the library because that's what I always did. I went to the library and I would read books, right? And I was reading this thing, and it just captured my imagination. It was about prisons, and I said, "Damn, I think I could do that. I think I could really do. I think I could work in a prison. That sounds really fascinating." And so, not as like in a burly, tough guard kind of thing, whatever. Just like the mind of just understanding how it is that people get into prisons, right? Like what happens. And so, so I called the social work department and I started taking courses in social work. But then I moved over to sociology, and everything changed from that moment. Everything changed in my life. I decided I needed to understand the world, which I still don't understand the world, but I needed to organize and categorize the world. I really, there were so many big questions that I wanted to understand. And so I just started. I was 20 years old. I never looked back. I just was studying 24/7. I started traveling a lot. I mean, it was just one thing after another that was absolutely, it's been an absolutely fabulous journey. I've never slowed down, and I haven't backed off. I don't have children. I'm married. I don't have children. And my wife and I, she's a PhD. She runs World in Conversation. She came to Penn State first. That's how we ended up here. I was living in South America, and she came to Penn State. And when I came up, I didn't have anywhere to go. And so we said, well, we wanted to be together and live in sin. We were not married. And so we decided. So I moved in with her, and, we sinned, the whole thing, right? So I don't have to say more, I don't think. So it was all good. And then ultimately we got married, and here we are, still at Penn State. Oh my God, who would have thought? All right. So, hey, are there any questions in the chat that I need to respond to, or at all? We can go there. And
the only question thus far has been, who's the greatest basketball player of all time, LeBron James or Michael Jordan? I'm not going to weigh in on that.
You know what it is? You know who it is? It's actually, I think it's might be Pete Maravich, to be honest with you. But who am I to say? I don't know. Like, what am I going to say? Yeah, it might be Pistol Pete. So there you go. There's some old timers, my friends, who are killing at basketball. All right, so let's see. Let's talk about politics. Let's see, where are we? Let's talk a little bit about. Hey, by the way, I'm gonna. This is just me kind of putting some stuff out there, so you know where we're at, and then we're gonna bring some folks on the stream and talk about some stuff. So politics. We are in an incredibly politicized environment right now, and imagine being me and being part of the Social 19 team and having to talk about race and politics and culture and inequality and social issues, and do it in a large classroom with lots of people and be fair and thoughtful to many sides of issues. Not take sides all the time, be fair and be thoughtful to many different sides of issues, and be and really challenge everybody, right? Really take lots of roads. I mean, and honest to God, not bring all of my personal beliefs in to the classroom all the time. Really be willing to bring lots of contrasting perspectives and hear from lots of people and so on. It's incredibly difficult. It is for the best of thinkers, for the most wise people in the world, that is a momentous task for anybody to do, right? And so, I mean, only somebody who's insane or at certain levels mentally ill would even attempt to do that. My God, and almost always fall short. Okay, but that's what we're going to do. And so here's a couple of things that you need to know about me. Number one, I don't care. how you think when you leave Social 19 in May. I don't care. I don't have any sense at all of certain ideas that I want you to believe or certain things I want you to think. I honestly don't. And part of that is because I've been teaching for 37 years, and I know that no matter, there's nothing I can say that you will walk away with, that I know you'll walk away with, right? If I say X, just as often you'll walk away with Y instead of X. If I say Y, just as often you'll walk away with A instead of Y, whatever it is. Like it just doesn't. There's nothing I can say, right? Because you're all your own people. And secondly, I don't really have many firm beliefs in anything. I'm all over the place in the way I see the world. Like I have really what would be considered, really like conservative ideas, really liberal ideas, really radical ideas, really backward ideas, really these ideas. All I wake up in the morning and I just sort of get out of bed and I say, okay, well, what am I thinking today? Like, well, what is it? Like, and part of that is because the world is so damn complicated. When you dig beneath the surface and beyond the headlines, the world is so incredibly complicated. And I've discovered that. And it's funny that the wisest people, the smartest people I know are almost always the people who don't have very firm opinions on anything, because it's really incredibly difficult to have firm opinions on anything. Now, mind you, when you're young, when you're, between the years of like 18 and 22 or 23, which is what most of you are, it's the goal is to have certain ideas and certain opinions. Like you want to grab onto something because that's the way you start learning. You like get your traction and you enter the world of the intellect through a particular perspective. But then if you stay on the journey, then you start to slip because you realize that you start to encounter contradictions that don't make sense, and that you can't resolve. And then you get stuck, and then you find yourself spinning, and then all sorts of things happen. And if you're unlucky, you have really a very serious breakdown of some way, right? But if you're lucky, you start to abandon other people's ideas for your own. So that's really important to say. I don't want anyone to think like me. First off, that would just be wishing evil upon people, because if you knew how I thought, like how insane I was in my ideas, you wouldn't wish that on anybody, right? So I don't wish that. I don't want that. You may think that I'm like, Sam's imposing a certain idea on us. Well, that's just because that's what you want to think. But I don't have that at all. That's not in me in any way, even if it may sound like it sometimes, but it's not the case. So everybody's going to get challenged in here. Like white people will get challenged, absolutely. Black and brown people will get challenged, absolutely. Theists will get challenged, atheists will get challenged, Americans will get challenged, people who are not Americans will be challenged. Everyone gets challenged, men, women, straight people, gay people, trans people, everybody. My job as a teacher is to challenge every single person's belief system, because my job as a teacher is to get people to see things they don't already see. If I didn't have that, if that wasn't what was going on, then what would be the point, right? Like, why would we have class? Like, why would you need me? You just go into a classroom and you just regurgitate everything you already think and everything you already know. And then what role would I have? Like, what job would I have? And so, like, what do you think? Like, some of you think, like, all these conservatives and people who support Trump, they really need to get challenged because they really need to see the truth. Yeah, okay. Well, people on the other side are like, where are you getting your information? Where are you getting your ideas? Those of you who don't like Trump, where's your information from, right? Have you gone to really thoughtful, really smart Trump supporters and said, hey, listen, Trump supporter who's really smart, and I know some brilliant people who are strongly, not the stuff that Trump did recently, very few people support that, but I mean just Trumpism, whatever that is, right? His existence. And like, if I can go to them and say, have you ever gone to them and said, like, somebody like that, and said, hey, tell me why it is that you would vote for this guy, right? And then listen to what they have to say. And the vast majority of people who don't like Trump have never done that. So it's like, well, if you've never done that, then how do you know you have a really thoughtful critique of Trump? You know what I mean? Like, how is that? Or if you're a person who thinks, Black Lives Matter is really not a good movement in the United States. Like, this is a problem. And I just think that Black Lives Matter. It's just like we shouldn't separate ourselves. We shouldn't be doing that stuff. We should see ourselves as Americans. Just want to come together. It's protesting in that way is not the best way to address social issues. Well, have you ever had a conversation with people who are protest organizers and movement organizers and people that really are strategic social change initiators? Have you ever sat down with someone who's like a social change strategist and said, hey, tell me exactly why you do that? Like, why do you have a protest in the way that you do? Like, why does that happen? And walk me through that. And if you've never done that, then where do you come off? Where do you even have a critique of that? Like, where'd you get your idea that a Black Lives Matter protest is actually a problem? Like, why is it a problem? Like, what do you mean? Like, where's that come from? Where's any ideas come from? Right. So anyway, that's my job. That's what this class is. This class, everyone's gonna get challenged. So it's awesome in that way. So I always say that my goal at the end of every class is that I want everyone who's in class to be arguing with me about something. Everybody, right? Because we're gonna bounce around. We're gonna touch on lots of different issues. Everyone challenges me about something, right? It's arguing. I would just say that. All right, man. So let's go. Hey, I want to show you this map, by the way. So I also very early on, when I was 21, when I was 20, actually, I went to French-speaking Quebec for the first time. And then the next year I went and spent 6 months in Spain and then traveled around Europe. And at that point in time, I decided that A, I didn't want to have children, and B, I wasn't going to spend money frivolously, and C, I was going to save all my money, and I was just going to go see the world, and I was going to meet people all over the world. And so the parts in the blue are all countries where I have visited or spent time. So I've lived quite a number of years outside the United States in different countries, though most of my time in Ecuador and in Spain. I spent some total of over a year in Spain and over a year in Ecuador and a year and a half in Ecuador. I speak Spanish, so but I've traveled a lot. But I've been to India 3 times. I've been to Qatar probably 10 times. I've been to all over, lots of places, multiple times, many places. So I travel, and I don't just I travel and I learn. So I have colleagues all over the world, and I sit and I talk and I meet people, and I learn from people, and I see the world from other people's perspectives. And so when I talk about the United States or when I talk about the world, I'm also talking about the world through the eyes of lots of other people. And so I put that map up there just to kind of have a sense that this is that's why SOS 119 is like it's US. It's 50% about the US, and it's 50% about international issues. So race, culture, and ethnicity. Okay. But you're going to meet lots of folks from different places. Okay, so let's go. Let's bring Nish on. Nish, why don't let's talk about Top Hat for a hot second. You're going to meet you already met Jeff, but Jeff will come back on. You'll see Jeff in a second.
Hi everyone.
Nish.
I'm Nish. I'm the director. I press all the buttons. I make sure you see Sam. Make sure you see the slides that he's talking about. I'm also a mod on Twitch, so if you say something out of pocket, I'm gonna get to that. But most importantly, I'm in charge of Top Hat, which is like our little attendance taking system for the semester. Basically, like I'll put up a question, you answer it, that's pretty much it. And speaking of Top Hat, I'm about to put one up right now. So everyone get ready in the next 30 seconds.
Hey, so what you want to do, what do we have to do, Nish? We have to, so the ideal way, Top Hat is you all have access to this. Doesn't cost you money. Top Hat is a way for us to communicate. We can take attendance, or you can do polling questions, and we're going to do attendance by polling questions. And right now this week we're just practicing with Top Hat. But what you really want to do is you want to have it every class. You want to have it open. Either have the app, log into the app on your phone, or that's the easiest way to do this. Or you can have a window open on your computer, because as we get going, there's always going to be a question at the beginning of class and a question toward the end of class, and those are going to mark your attendance. So you need to always be logged into Top Ed, and you don't have a lot of time to do it. So again, the question that Nish is putting, what's the question, Nish, today? Just
it's generally, what is your political orientation? Some variation of the question.
Yeah, just for the fun of it. This is just for us. Like this is anonymous, doesn't really matter. You're not getting, this week, you're not getting graded on these. You just want to make sure you understand it. So if you haven't, you're going to get another email from Top Hat, but you can sort of click on the Top Hat link in the left column of Canvas. And when you get into our class page, and just hop over to, log you in and then just answer it, right? So you'll see it, it'll pop up. And if you don't have time to get to this one, then we'll get to the next one. But Nish, can you just say something else about what do you do? What's your job in Social 119?
So I run the cameras. I make sure all the cameras are working. I'm the director. So every time you see Sam or you see everything switching around on the screen, that's pretty much me. I already said I moderate the chat on Twitch. So if you get your chat deleted, it's one of us here at this thing, probably me, but we'll see.
Yeah, we're going to bring Jamie and Solo on.
Yeah, we have to talk to Jamie and Solo, but that's pretty much what I do.
And all right, thanks, man. And Nish took Social 119, I think your first semester of your freshman year, right?
Yeah, I've been taking Soc since freshman year, and this is my last semester doing it.
You poor soul, man. That's like 8 semesters. Oh, man, how do you take it? Hey, but you're a film and video person, and you're awesome, and you're incredibly talented. And
thank you.
It's great to have you, and we're going to miss you tremendously. Yeah, so you will be people will be interacting with Nish. Hey, so next, Jeff, so we have, maybe you could say something about our 3 chats and where we're at here, how people can jump on the chat and how they can watch the stream differently. And yeah.
Alrighty, so could you go to the other screen? So the first thing that you could know, or you should know, is that social119.org/live will actually give you a direct link to Twitch and to YouTube. So we actually stream at both places. So if you have an internet connection issue, Twitch sometimes doesn't allow us to stream in 360p to 1080p. They do it off of kind of like a lottery system if you're not partnered. And so on YouTube, they don't do that. So if you're having issues listening to us, it might be us, probably won't be. But you can just hit up YouTube. You can just hit this link and it will literally take you directly to our YouTube channel. But you can talk in the comment section on Twitch, on YouTube, and Discord. So if you check the description of our Twitch, you can find our Discord channel. And we'll be using that hopefully after class in the next couple of weeks. We'll start using it right after class to give you all an opportunity to talk to Sam if you want. And you can continue the conversation over there.
And Discord, Discord is for more serious conversations, by the way. Those of you who used Discord servers, you know that. Twitch is the fastest paced chat going. I don't know if I didn't hear if you said, Jeff, that you need to have a Twitch. You need to log into Twitch, but it doesn't mean anything. It's free. You just have to have some kind of user ID in Twitch, just like YouTube, if you want to use the Twitch chat. But the Twitch chat is the one that's going to hop. We really, for us, by the way, Jeff, we keep talking about you. Jeff can you just say what you do, my friend? Who you are?
Yeah, so I run all of the live streaming parts that are on the computer, rather than Darnisha, who runs with like the actual physical hardware. So the party that's right here on my screen is not supposed to be there actually, because they changed that graphic earlier today. However, thank you, Katya, for telling us. So I run that kind of stuff, the graphics. So if you see some chat stuff happening on the screen, that's all me trying to figure out what our computer can and can't hold. So that's what I do throughout the day, is just do this, and I help run the stream team. You'll meet some of the students throughout the rest of the semester.
and he is the technology manager at World in Conversation. So
Somebody asked if I was from Haiti. No, but
yeah.
I did.
He looks like he's from Haiti, though, right? I mean, come on, like look at this guy. All right. So in any case, so we really encourage the Twitch chat is the fastest. The YouTube chat slows down a little bit, and Discord conversation is much slower and more space for thoughtful stuff and for people posting things and so on, right? We encourage conversations because it's back channel stuff, right? Like it matters. It just matters back channel. So if you haven't been on the chat yet, here's an opportunity. Jeff, if you can throw the next question up. If you could, maybe you could just jump on one of the chats and answer this question, because this would be really good. We'll be able to look at it later tonight or tomorrow and just kind of see where people's heads are. But what's a question that you'd like to get an answer to before the end of the semester? Just something that when you think about race, culture in the US and around the world, what's something that just really kind of jumps out for you? You'd say like, hey, I wish I had an answer to that. Just throw the question up there. It'll be really interesting to see what people write. Again, in one of all three places. So if you haven't checked out Discord, if you're serious, many of you have. It's a pretty hopping spot too. But okay, hey, let's meet Jamie and Solo, who are and Jamie, why don't you start out? Turn the cameras on. And why don't you guys say a little bit about what you're doing and what your job is? And in this world of moderation, this world of chatting, because we are in a public forum, and we just really want to make sure that it is a public forum, and we really understand that. So. Jamie, why don't you? Are you there? Hang on. I think hey, Jeff, can you? Wait, Jamie's connecting to audio. There we go. Yo, what's up? Okay, you're muted, so there you go. Wait, you're still mute? We're not hearing you, so. Work on that for a second, but let me just say the following. So there you go, man.
Okay.
What's up? Welcome. Hey, what are you doing? What are you doing in that chat, my friend? And wait, first off, who are you and how'd you get here? And what are you doing in the chat?
So before I speak, I need to know which thing I need to turn off so that
wait, we've lost. Yeah, we've lost you again, man. Hang on, Jeff, you're gonna work on that. Hang on, we've lost you. We can't hear you. Right? Let's do this. We're going to come back to the two of you. Hold on.
Okay.
There you go. All right, you're on.
Yo.
Dude, we are like, you got it? Hey, by the way, class. Wait, hang on. Jamie, we can't hear you. Here's what we're going to do. We're going to bring you guys on the next class. Okay, we're going to work it out, and you guys got to come on next class. All right, because that'll be fine. So people are just going to...
I would really love for somebody to say something about the chat at least.
All right, I will say something, right? Hey, and then Solo and Jamie, both of you come on next class, and we'll introduce you, okay? I'm going to say the following. Be kind in the chat. Be civil in the chat. This is a class. It's a college class. It is a public forum. Lots of people are also in the chat. People watch this class who are not enrolled in it. But you are, those of you who are enrolled, you're all students. It's a lot easier to say a lot of crazy stuff in a chat than it is the things that you wouldn't say to people's faces. And we don't want to do that. Like we need you to be, we need you to be kind and thoughtful, really. And Jamie and Solo will talk about how you're going to get put in timeout and what that means when you're not kind and thoughtful. But we'll do that next class. All right. We'll make sure we'll test all the equipment and get ready to go. And class, just so you know, we're bringing people on and off the screen all the time. Because we're going to have a lot of volunteers every single class. So there are always going to be certain tech issues and so on. So we'll work on that. We're used to it. We're all good. We're like talking to each other. We have earphones on, and I have a couple because I'm in New Jersey, I have a couple of my nieces here who are helping me out on the side, talking to our production team and so on and so forth. So it's awesome. So, hey, so listen, let's go to Joy. My friend, you are on. Let's talk about volunteering.
Yes, sir. Okay.
Joy with the hoops.
With the hoops and the holes. Yeah, so I am Joy. I'm the person who's going to be contacting you via the forms you submit at your class website, social19.org/volunteer, or texting. So if anyone has noticed, and I guess if you're not comfortable with it, you don't have to enter your phone number, but it will be me who will be texting you.
You'd be the only one.
Via the email.
If people put their phone number in, you are the only one that gets the phone number, and we want them. Why would you prefer that people send you their phone number?
Because it is faster. This is a live class. We are online. As you can see, there are some tech issues. Also, what is new is the offering of additional credit for our volunteers. So it's just another way to keep track, to make sure you get what you do indeed deserve for when you sign up, because that's what it says that you will get.
Enjoy. Why do we want volunteers?
Because like Sam was saying earlier, as far as what his mission is as a professor in this course, and swaying your thought from one side to the other, not specific beliefs or ideas that he's trying to embed in your head. And my personal thought in Sam's teaching method is that he lets the students teach each other. And you can only do that by everyone else coming in to share their own experiences, backgrounds, or thoughts. Not to put anyone on blast or to be wrong, but to just give different ideas that are real in the world, that come directly from you yourself.
Awesome, man. So people who want to be on the chat, they go to the webpage, right? Mm-hmm. And Jeff, maybe you can just put that page up and show people that you'll see that, hey, next class or next week, we're going to do a class on X or Y. And so we'd like a volunteer who maybe has a certain background or has a certain perspective. And then if you're like, hey, all right, that's me, I'll be killing it. I'll be happy to come on the stream and be part of that. Then you fill that out. Joy gets it, and Joy contacts you. Mm-hmm. Dude, anything else, man? What's awesome about volunteering? What have you seen?
Well, it's interesting. What I've seen that's cool is we tend to have a lot of people come on repetitively. You may hear throughout the semester Sam asking for new people. We may get to a point where we deny some people because we want new people on there. But I feel like for the people who are more enthusiastic to come on multiple times is more exciting, because it just shows. It's kind of a little bit more hopeful for the people that we have in our generation today, or people in school today. At this point, I can only assume everybody is born in the year 2000 or earlier or later, or however which direction that works. But it's really cool to really get a grasp of what's going on outside of my own limitations. And that's cool for anybody else sitting behind the screen, wherever you are, from wherever you've been. To be exposed to those different things, I think is really cool. And from all over the world. I think that's the one thing I appreciate about the, dismantling of COVID this past year, is that there's really not, it's a lot less boundaries between working online with the people we get to talk to, like a guest that'll be coming up later in today's class, even, for example. So you
Don't
usually get
say where the
exposed to a lot of things.
don't say where the guest is from. Make sure you don't do
I
that.
don't even know.
Yeah, oh, awesome, man. Hey, so
But yeah.
let's show Joy and Jeff. Can you show a couple of those screenshots? So the volunteer, it may be, in one class we'll have 7 or 8 people in class who are all on the screen talking to one another, and then the screen, Zoom's going to look like this, right? This is a screenshot from last semester. Or take a look at the next shot. That's another screenshot, and it's 2 students who are having a conversation with me. You sort of see me at the bottom of the screen, and the 3 of us are having a conversation about something. Or there's the other photo is just me and one person. Who the 2 of us are engaging. So when we talk about volunteering, you almost never know what it is that you're going to volunteer for, but what you will know is that you're not going to get put on the spot. These are not gotcha moments. This is not about a gotcha thing. This is not about, hey, let's bring people on the screen and make them look stupid and foolish, and then we'll have a viral video. You know what I mean? There's none of that. If we did that, we'd never get volunteers, and I don't like that. I hate that stuff. I don't have a TV. I don't watch TV. I don't watch that nonsense. Like, I'm not into that. This is a class, but there will be, but you come on the screen and you engage, you have a conversation about something that you may not know anything about, and you're not expected to know anything about. This is the goal. Like, when I bring somebody on a screen and I ask them to have a conversation about something, and neither of them know anything about that issue, that there's the purpose of that. It's not to make people look bad, because like how would you know anything if I asked you a question? I don't know, like Joy, if I said, like, hey, listen, tell me what you know about the current immigration caravans that are coming up from Honduras right now and trying to get into Mexico. You don't know anything about that, right? You following the news, you checking that out, like, so like it's not that kind of thing, right? So it's really a lot of, it's fascinating, and sometimes it's fun, and it's poignant. It's good. But Joy is the person
Poignant,
holding that
definitely
down.
poignant.
Joy,
All learning experiences, opportunities to learn something.
And if we don't get volunteers, Joy, what happens? People have to listen to me yammer on them.
Bro, this time will go by
ideas.
so slow. And also carry the concept of just giving the energy and giving input to engage, to make things go faster when you start doing your dialogues, which we'll give more information about that later as well. But yes,
Cool.
if you don't join, you have to hear this man ramble and be all over the place and be just as confused as he is. And we don't know that.
Oh my God. I don't even want that. Are you kidding me? I have to listen to myself ramble. And all right, so awesome. Thanks, Joy. Joy, by the way, is a staff member at World in Conversation also. So some of you will encounter her there. Hey, let's do our first following. Are there any questions on the stream, by the way? First off, let me ask.
Yes, but there are a lot of comments, and so we're not going to ask any of those until after you're done with your next thing.
All right, let's do this. We're going to do our first case. We call them case studies. Okay, a case study is when I have an idea that we're going to have some kind of interactive engagement exercise. When we're in 100 Thomas, what happens is we bring people down to the front of the room and we do something down there together. That's a case study, and we're trying to discover something together about some issue, whatever it might be. But it may be that but in COVID times, now that we're completely online, the case study is bringing people onto the screen. And so what we do is you volunteer, then you watch class from the Zoom link, but also you can turn Twitch on. So then in the ideal world, when you volunteer, you we say, yep, you're coming in next Thursday. So we're going to have volunteers for next Thursday. And Joy's going to pick people out and she's going to say, okay, you're on for Thursday's class. They send you the Zoom link. You log into Zoom at least by 3:00, but ideally like 10 till 3. And then you're waiting in Zoom and you can watch whatever is up on the screen in Zoom, but then also you would want a window open. You're going to watch the class on Twitch. Because when we put slides up or we do other things, you won't see them on Zoom, but you'll see them on Twitch. And here's the thing, everybody, you got to realize that Twitch is like 12 to 15 seconds behind the class. So like right now, my niece over here is monitoring the Twitch channel. Her name's Emma. And Emma is monitoring the Twitch channel, and she's what she's seeing on Twitch is 15 seconds behind what's actually happening here. So when you're a volunteer, you want to have Twitch on, but then you want to have Zoom on. And then when we're ready for you, we'll tell you, someone will tell you on Zoom, like, hey, we're ready. Like turn your camera on, turn your mic on, and then you hop in. So right now we have 2 volunteers who we're gonna have a demonstration of what a case study would be. So our 2 volunteers can turn your cameras on. We are ready to rock. And I can't use any names because that's part of it. We have Christine, where are you?
I am in my brother's room, which is themed like a pirate ship. And yes, I'm in the Navy now. So
Dude, awesome, man. Where are you? At home or?
Oh yeah, I'm at home because I'm a freshman, so I can't go back to campus yet.
Yeah, and where is home?
Home is Bucks County, Pennsylvania, so just outside of Philly a little bit.
Dude, awesome, man. Cool. And wait, I can't say the name of our next guest, but you got to turn your camera on too. Z. If you are ready, there we go. Z, what's up? Nice seeing you.
Hello.
So, hey, so. Z, don't say anything about where you're at, okay? Are you on a phone or are you on a laptop?
I'm on a laptop.
Okay, so you can just stay unmuted. Z, meet Christine. Christine, meet Z.
Hi.
Okay, we're not telling you Z's name because here's what we want you to do. We want you to guess where she is and where she's from. And Z, can you move is your laptop plugged in, or could you like show us around your house a little? Could you move it around a little bit and show us?
I'm not sure if that's possible. Actually, it's very late and everyone's asleep. And I can get out of my room.
All right,
I'm
okay.
really sorry.
Christine, no, that's okay. Christine, where do you take a guess? Tell us something about her.
Well, my first thought actually was that she's not in natural light. So before she said she was like, it was really late where she was, I assumed that she was probably at least not in this time zone. And if it's really late, that means that she would be in Europe's time zone or that area, the East, not us.
Uh-huh.
So I'm gonna take a guess. I don't know why my gut's telling me Europe for some reason, but I really want to say she's in Europe.
In Europe, what's she doing in Europe?
I don't know. I mean,
what do you know about her? What do you know about her?
Well, that's
what can you absolutely say about her?
Well, for starters, she's covering her hair, which isn't necessarily telling of much all the time. But in this case, it's also the same color as what's around her here. So I feel like it might just be more than like an Americanized headscarf moment, if you know what I mean.
Okay, got you.
I don't know. I mean, like.
So what's her religion?
Like, maybe she's Muslim, or I don't know. I mean, like, I feel like there's different possibilities. And most commonly, I guess if you're from America, you'd probably say someone's Muslim if they're wearing a head covering.
Okay, you definitely would. And so here, let me walk through, right? Now, mind you, class, everybody recognize. So I set this up, right? I'm calling her Z because if she puts her full name up there, it'll be a tip off of something, right? And so so I'm setting it up, right? That Christine, you wouldn't know necessarily. Okay. This is the goal, right? Why would you know? How would you know? Right. So, so you're thinking she's Muslim. And Z, are you Muslim? Yeah. Okay. So she's Muslim. Give me. But do you think she's in Europe? So she's Muslim, right? Where else might she be other than Europe?
I mean, like, I know that she could be in the Middle East because that's what we learned about when I was in high school. But I also know that there's a high Muslim population in Europe, which is why I'm still saying it might be Europe. But,
dude, okay, that's awesome. All right. So what? All right. So Zeke, tell us something about yourself. Right? Where are you? What are you doing?
Should I give the full information now?
Yeah, go ahead. And your full name too.
All right, my name is Zainab El Fakhri, and I'm actually from Iraq, and I am in Iraq right now. I'm in Mosul. I'm 23, and I study translation at the University of Mosul. And yeah, I am Muslim. You guessed that.
And you speak English better than I do, by the way. But that's
Thank you.
That's neither here nor there. And what? So, Chris, hey, Zainab, what do you know about Christine by where she said she was? Do you know anything about Philadelphia or?
I mean, I've facilitated in your class. Actually, facilitator. So I've had a lot of people describing what Philadelphia is like, but I cannot say I remember exactly how it is. But I do know. I mean, my fair share of America and where you guys are. So yeah, I might have an idea. So I can actually imagine what true background would be in what life is like.
What religion do you think she is?
That's pretty hard to assume. I mean, you never really know. Even if someone is like wearing a hijab, by the way, they might not be a real Muslim or just a Muslim. But I'm just gonna go with like Catholic Christian.
Nice guess. You can just keep your mic unmuted, by the way. Christine, what's your religious background?
I grew up non-denominational Christian.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
What does that mean? What's it mean to be a Christian anyway? Hey, Zainab, what's it mean to be a Christian? Like, what do Christians believe?
Christians, I mean, the basics is to believe in like Jesus, the Holy Spirit, and I don't know what else. I forgot. But it's like 3 stuff. And yeah, that's all I know. But like it's the same as basically most other religions. It's just to believe in God and like have basic rules and stuff like that.
And Christine, what do you know about Islam?
Well, I know that it has a lot of the same shared, like she was saying, it's a lot of the same shared beliefs as Christianity. Someone explained religion to me as you have Judaism, which is the Old Testament, and then you have Christianity, which is like Old Testament and New Testament, and then you have Islam, which extends beyond that with the Quran, but it's still a belief in almost everything encapsulated in that time. It's just sometimes like with the Quran, there's certain, not necessarily modifications, but there's like it's just an extension of the story, pretty much. That's my understanding. So.
Oh my God, that's amazing. That's awesome. Yeah, like Zainab, isn't Jesus is mentioned in the Quran more often than Muhammad, peace be upon him? By the way,
that's true.
Am I right on that? Yeah.
Yeah, that's actually very true.
Yeah, it's really
exactly
crazy. Hey, Christine, ask Zainab a question. What do you know about wearing hijabs?
What do I know about it?
Yeah.
Well, my first thought is she must have some really nice hair because it's constantly protected from everything. I know that it's like in Christianity, there's almost a different version of it. It's just not necessarily in the form of a hijab, but an idea of modesty. So I know that it's meant to be a sign of respect. And it's not like I know that there was a while where people, and even now, like people have opinions about it being like restrictive against women and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
But I know that based in the faith, it's a sign of modesty, and it's it protects you in a way that like it keeps you for your husband in that regard, if I'm correct about that. But yeah, it's just modesty, just like it is for Christians when they don't want you to wear a low-cut top. So.
Yeah. Dude, oh my God. Okay. Zainab, talk about that, dude. So in Iraq, in Mosul, so Mosul's a pretty conservative city, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's a lot more compared to actually many other cities in Iraq, it's pretty conservative.
But it's not like Najaf, right? Or is it similar to Najaf?
I'd say, well, not as strict, but kind of
Yeah.
in its own way.
So do you ever leave your house without your hijab on?
No, never actually. Even if we have like guests and they're males, I'm not actually allowed to do that. I always keep it on.
What if all your
yeah.
guests are women?
Then no, actually, I'm.
Are women?
Well, I am, but actually, to be honest with you, sometimes I wear it even if there are women, because I just don't want to like do something to my hair when I have like a bad hair day. So that's a really good thing to do. Yeah.
It's awesome. You never have a bad hair day. You know what
exactly.
I mean?
It's like such a relief.
Yeah.
Oh, especially that I have curly hair. So.
Yeah. So how many? So what question do you have, Christine? You got to have a question to Zainab about hijabs.
Were you ever? Because I don't know if you said this at any point. Did you ever come to America and like visit America, or just have you taught through like virtual settings?
No, I actually never been outside Iraq, but I've only spoken to Americans through World in Conversation.
Okay. Well, I was going to ask you if you had been there, what your experience was like walking around in a country where that's not the majority of what people do and how they wear their hair.
Uh-huh.
I'd love to visit one day.
We will love to have you for sure.
Thank you.
How about another question? Do you have another one?
I mean, I would ask if it ever gets annoying, but I'm pretty sure I already know the answer to that, which is no, because that's just your way of life. It's just what you do every day. It's like brushing your teeth in the morning. It might get annoying, but it's also daily routine.
What do you imagine would be what do you I think I'm going to ask another question, and then Zainab, you can answer. What do you imagine for you would be annoying about wearing a hijab? Christine.
Oh, for me?
Yeah. What do you imagine it would be? And you can't be politically incorrect here. You can't insult her at all. So don't worry about that. Like, what would it be for you if you imagine you're going to wear a scarf every day, all the time? Like, what would be annoying about it?
I love to do my hair. I've loved to do my hair ever since I was younger, and I was in dance, and we had to wear buns, and I had to make the buns look creative. So I really like to be able to do, like, even now I have braids and a little bun in my hair, because it's just like one of the ways I like to express myself. So I compare it to someone having to tell me, like, okay, say in high school I had to wear a uniform. I would do it because I had to, but I wouldn't enjoy it because I really like dressing myself, and I like the independence to do that because I feel like it shows another part of me. But I think it would be just as fair to say that that's like the same thing for her. It's still showing another part of her. It's a pretty outward representation of how she lives her life. So.
Hey, Zainab, what do you think about that? What do you think about what she said?
I mean, I'm going to go back to the first thing you asked, which is if it gets annoying, because it does. I mean, this isn't offensive in any way or anything. It does get annoying, especially in like hot summer days. I live in Iraq. Temperature can reach 55 degrees Celsius. So wearing this, and by the way, I'm wearing it very easily right now. It usually is like I have to do it multiple layers. So it does get really sweaty and hot, but I just got used to it. Oh, and it gets really annoying when you wear, now in COVID, when you wear the mask and earphones and stuff, it gets like really disturbing. Mm-hmm. But it's something that I've got used to, and it's something I actually like. So it's all right.
Yeah, very cool. All right. In class, we have a couple videos out. A few times we've had Muslim women who brought hijabs into Social 19 into the classroom and put them on American women, and then they, spent time with wearing hijab just to feel what it is. Hey, can you say something about the modesty question that Christine said? Like what, Zainab, about modesty, and could you say something about that?
Yeah, so that's basically the main reason why we wear hijab. It's just all about modesty, basically, because in our religion, it's supposed to, like, it represents the fact that you want to stay covered for let's say, as you said, actually, for your future husband, for example, or not even that, not just for a man, but for yourself, because you want to preserve that modesty because your hair is just a symbol of like extreme beauty. And you want to keep that for yourself or for whomever you would like to share it with in the future.
And Muslim men dress modestly as well, right? The idea is just women, but there are clothing. How would I say? Not requirements, but mores for men. What, like in Mosul, men are pretty conservative in the way they dress as well, right? Can you say something about that?
Yeah,
like
actually,
you won't see men walking around in tank tops with all their skin showing. Like that doesn't happen. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Even like shorts, for example, or like not even that long pants, like a bit short. Not even short shorts, but like shorts. So people don't really do that, men. Like I have 3 brothers, by the way, and my father, like ever since they were like little, taught them to never wear shorts in public because that's really not modest and it's just might disturb people or it is just it's just not that acceptable, especially here in Mosul, as you said, Sam.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, very cool, man.
So it's not just for women.
Yeah, very cool. Any other? Hey, Zainab, when Christine is saying, "Hey, Christine, can we see the back of your hair?" Can
Oh,
you
yeah.
just turn around like we really see? Do you ever? So Zainab, do you ever do you do that with your hair sometimes? Like, do you do like really creative hairstyles, and even if you then cover it in a?
I have curly hair, so it's very limited. I can't really do much with it. It's just like a lot of curls.
Yeah.
But I would actually love to meet you one day and you would teach me how to do this. I don't know how to do this. That would be amazing.
Maybe we'll do a class on that one day on hairstyle.
We'll do a little tutorial.
Yeah. Hey, so class, everybody. So this is this would be an example of a case study on volunteering. And what we're doing here is really just trying to get the conversation started and just have some things that we can talk about and have a couple people meet one another and engage. And yeah, it's cool. It's really, how was it, Christine? How was it coming onto the stream, not knowing what you were going to do?
Well, I didn't really know what I was signing up for at all. I just saw sign up for a live stream and I did it. And then like the more you were talking, the more I went, oh, so this is only like a few people and I'm going to have to talk with a bunch of people watching virtually. But it was fine. It was fine. I mean, I thought it was kind of like friendship speed dating.
Dude, awesome, man. Yeah. And Zainab, thanks for, what time is it right now in Mosul, in Iraq?
It's actually past 12 a.m.
Oh my God, it's early. Come on. Are you kidding me? You're young, right? Bossum is always watching class.
No, I actually sleep early.
Yeah. Well, listen, thank you for, thanks for staying up and thanks for being part of World in Conversation. So Zainab is part of our team, was part of the foundations team. So everyone knows last semester and did the foundations level training at World in Conversation and facilitated dialogues for the Social 19 students last semester. And you are now facilitating advanced dialogues at World in Conversation for students and faculty and staff around campus. I mean, this is awesome. You are an awesome person and we're really happy to have you. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Sam. This has been an incredible opportunity. Thank you so much.
Well, it's more incredible for us. So listen, thanks, and we will talk. And Christine, thank you. Thanks for jumping on. Yeah,
Sure.
I really appreciate it. All right, be well. Yeah. Hey, so you get it, right? You see that? That's pretty cool. It's like, it's really, we'll do a lot of things like that, and that's the point of it. So the key is, though, we want to select our volunteers before the start of class, and that's why we're be on it ahead of time, so we don't really need to stay up. Hey, but now we have one final person who you need to meet, who's really, really a really important person, and Lily. We can pop Lily on the screen. What's up? How you doing? How was your class?
It was good, yeah. Ended early, so that's always the best.
Not this class. Does this class ever end early, Lily?
No, it ends late most of the time, actually.
Well, how much late?
Like a minute, 2 minutes.
Okay, all right.
Not
But
bad.
but the reason is because it's always so exciting, and not because I'm talking, because somebody else is talking, and so it's hard to get off. Hey, so what, Lily? What do you do? Who are you?
Hi guys, I'm Lily. I'm the TA for this class, so I'll be answering like all your emails, all your questions. I'll be able to help you with grades and things like that. So, and you reach me at the staff email. So just let me know if you need help with literally anything. Yeah, so I'll try and just take those before you give them to Sam.
So Lily, the staff email, people contacting you. Can you say something about not using Canvas and using the staff email and so on and so forth?
Yeah, so try not to message me on Canvas because I am also a student. So I do get messages from other classes, like from my professors. And so I probably won't see your messages since I'm focusing on my own classes. And so if you email the staff email, I'll get back to you much faster. And I probably won't get back to you at all if you do it on Canvas. So do it primarily on the staff email, please.
And don't email me on Canvas, really. Honestly,
yeah.
It's such
because
a pain.
I probably won't see that, and it's probably a question that Sam doesn't even need to answer and that the syllabus answers in the first place. So read the syllabus before you do email either of us, and then email the staff email before you reach out to Sam. So.
But Lily's on top of it. Lily's in this position because she's organized, she's on top of it, she's cool and hip. I mean, come on, look at her, right? So you want to be engaging with her because she actually knows what's going on in the class. I don't even know. I'm just like, people ask me a question and I'm just looking around for the answer. I don't know. Like, how would I know? Lily knows. Lily's your go-to person. So, and she'll help you with things that you're struggling with if you don't really get it. Okay. So Top Hat, we're going to send another email out to the people who have yet to connect to Top Hat. So they'll get another email in their inbox, right? So they can hook up to it.
Yeah. Yeah, we will do that.
Because by next Tuesday, we're going to start taking attendance. And once we do that, you need to make sure that Top Hat's working for you. Hey, we didn't do another, hey, Niche, can you just put the second Top Hat question up? Just see so people can just see if it's there. Sorry about that.
You already did.
All right, man. So if you didn't go in, wait, has it been done right now?
It's been done.
Oh, it's been done. All right, man. Yeah. Damn, see that? All right, Lily. So
since people are still adding and dropping courses, we're gonna update that Top Hat student page probably Wednesday and then again this weekend. So try to get all that stuff sorted out on your guys' end to make sure that you're enrolled in the right section that you want to be in, and then we'll continuously update that. So if you're still not in the right one by Sunday, that's when you're going to want to email us. Yep. But we're still sorting out over here. So if you're not in the right one before Sunday, give us a couple days to catch up on that.
Cool. Awesome, man. Thanks, Lily. And you have class during this class, so you will not.
I was going to say, do not stress if it's not there right now. I see a lot of you in the comments. There's no Top Hat question. There's no Top Hat question. It's because it's not up there right now. Don't worry about it today. We'll get it done in the next week.
Yeah, next class period, we'll have 2 Top Hat questions. One in the beginning, one at the end. We'll announce them ahead of time. We'll make sure you know. And then right now, we're just making sure it works for you. This is all like non-graded. You're not going to get graded. It's all volunteer. Hey, do you have any, Jeff, just so we can practice here, let Susie know if you have a question from the stream, all right? Because I want to answer at least one question from the stream. So tell her on the production channel or somebody, and then she can tell me. Hey, Lily, so thanks for joining in, and thanks for being part of 119 again and holding it down and holding down the back channel because it's a lot. You get a lot of stuff happening, so I appreciate it. Okay, so class. I'm going to respond to one particular question, but before I do, let me say that you'll be surprised at how many we don't give you respond to all of your questions in the very beginning on the very first day, because it's just too much to take in. But what you really want to do is, go through the syllabus, and there is a syllabus quiz that you have to take, and it's worth 3 points. And you can take it multiple times. So I was actually looking at Canvas earlier, and do you have something? Hey, hang on one second. Hey, and someone got a 2.5. And not 3 points. We want you to get 3 points. We want you to have full credit for the syllabus quiz. You can take it up to 3 times. We don't care. We want you to get full credit. So if you got a 2.5 on it, just quickly retake it again and get 3 points. Get them all correct. We really want you to get it all correct. Okay. I think that's really it. We don't have anything. All right, man.
The only questions we can tell you right now is if you want to volunteer, type in !volunteer into Twitch. It will send you directly to social18.org/volunteer, which is where you can fill out the form. Top Hat attendance will not start until a later date. Sam, when does it start? Like another
Tuesday, I think.
I think next Tuesday, maybe.
Tuesday. We're gonna start on
Right,
Tuesday.
so,
yeah.
Next Tuesday we will.
Yeah.
There's.
Yep. Right now we are just practicing Top Hat. So, and Thursday we will just practice Top Hat. But volunteering is social18.org and then /volunteer. And all the information you need is right there. And in order to volunteer, let me just say this, you have to fill out a release form. You have to give us permission to use your image and your video and your audio on our videos. And so you have to go, once you give us the information, you'll fill out a release form, and you'll just have to make sure you do that. You'll get reminded to do that, but you have to sign the release form and give us permission to bring you onto the stream. Okay. So make sure that is the case. Hey, listen, we are 2 minutes over. Oh my God, look at that. Lily was right. All right, class always goes late. All right, man. So listen, y'all, awesome having you on board. It's going to be a very cool semester. I'm looking forward to it. And thanks, team, for being awesome. And by the way, these are my 2 nieces sitting over here who are helping me out because I just can't think of all the things I need to think of. This is Emma and Susie. So listen, y'all, be well, be safe, wash your hands, don't touch your face, and wear a mask. And I will now put my mask on because class is over. All right, see you.